Greetings, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. I am going to say this is going to be an uncomfortable video for me to do, but I think it's important because there are a lot of people who are going to watch this that aren't going to agree with each other. I'm going to keep things objective, like I'm talking about it in a journalism class. I'm not going to tell you what to think or what to believe. I'm not going to tell you, even what I think and believe. I'm just going to tell you what people are talking about. I think the best thing to do in a situation that is controversial and dramatic and heated is to report what people are saying and have that be what leads the conversation. So if you missed the announcement for June, we do have two champions that I was completely unfamiliar with. I don't read the comics. I don't follow the Young Avengers. I know some people think that I should read the comics for the fact that I have a Marvel YouTube channel to be more credible. But I don't have time to do that, bro. I don't even have time to respond to all the messages I get daily. So a lot of times I'm learning backstories from Marvel, from you all, and sometimes it can be controversial. When America Chavez was in the game, I saw a little backlash about her sexual orientation and how there was some kind of agenda, but that was pretty muted. It was pretty much the fringe I saw of some comments. So I didn't do a video on it because I just thought it was not really representative of what quite a few members of the community were thinking, or a lot of people just didn't care. If she was a good champion, she'd use him, or they'd use her. If not, they wouldn't. Don't care about backstory. If they're a good champion for Battlegrounds, if they're a good champions for Alliance Quest, Alliance War, etc., then you'll use them, and if not, you won't. And I kind of sort of feel like that's what a lot of people are saying about these champions, but I think what makes this unique, it's not a female, it's males. And there is a implied romantic relationship in the comics. So that has ruffled some feathers and added some pushback, which then has added some drama on the forums in the last 24 hours. Ebony Omar will start by saying I don't have anything against these, but the execution just seems too forced, like it's just trying to rub it in our face or something. Just saying this whole sort of stuff could easily be avoided if the irrelevant stuff to the game were made irrelevant. We already have plenty of characters for many races and sexual orientation. Almost all of them weren't sold on being like that. They shouldn't be different. Just introduce the characters without coming up with the marketing about them being this and that. So that's, and again, there's no profanity in this post. I feel comfortable reading this, and maybe I won't from all of them, but that's what some people are saying. Just don't market the champions for being straight, gay, whatever. Just market the champions for their abilities in the game and their utility in the game. Bringing these toxic subjects to a game like this one is never a good idea. Toxic in the meaning of an unnecessary chaos and controversy creates in real life. But I get that Marvel is likely the one forcing these stuff. Oh, shots fired. And that whole concept of company equals money, whatever. And then, did it seem forced when Guardian was released for Canada Day or Sam Wilson for Black History Month? You can see how this is creating drama. Forced, once or twice a year we get things like this, but it's forced, so then everything wide and straight is forced. There are 10 months of the year. So, I don't know what to say. It's getting heated. Grounded wisdom. Because, of course, that's a good idea. That's one of the most antiquated arguments I've heard. It's a half acceptance. It's okay as long as I don't have to see it. I'm going to take a moment here and be educational. Grounded wisdom was educational today. This is a wild day. I said wild in the forums this morning. Some of you disagreed. You said it wasn't wild. It was fine. This is a lot of firsts. So, he's bringing up things like being beaten, murdered, abuse, Denied jobs, shunned. It is getting real. It is getting real on the forums today. And you can see the majority of comments are basically all responding to this Ebony Oma statement about being forced. Just seems too forced. And then we have a response to Grounded Wisdom, fantastically put. And Grounded Wisdom comes back. So, I didn't realize Hercules has a same-sex romance synergy. That's interesting. Forced or a brilliant marketing move, Dez asks. And then we have Kabam Mike. This is the official statement. Marvel has always been about celebrating and championing diversity, and I'm very proud that we get to carry that on in the game. The X-Men have always been probably one of the most obvious allegories for the plethora, that's a sentence, of civil rights movements in the past, and I think that's the reason many of us have felt so attached to them. They have long given many of us that felt different a sense of belonging and a way to feel seen and people to identify with. For many of us, it wasn't until years later that there were more literal representations of ourselves in the comics, shows, movies we loved, and it makes me so happy to see that we are finally able to add an LGBTQ couple to the game. People often call small gestures like this political, but it is absolutely not. Gay people exist, and saying that it is not politically, or not saying that is not political. When you say something like that, you are adding to the ongoing perception that some people's lives are political, and that their sheer act of existing is a political statement. We're not going to tolerate any homophobia here. We have an entire event dedicated to Pride coming up, and it's the kind of Pride event we want to throw, full of referential humor and celebrating the diversity of our players, teams, and our champions. You are free to not play the event, but we are not going to listen to your reasons for not wanting to play it. They are not necessary and are more hurtful than you might think. For the record, from the moment that the Champion reveal trailer went live, the negative comments have been few and far between. We know that we have an amazing community that is very welcoming and kind. We're looking forward to celebrating Pride with you all this June and can't wait to share what we've been working on. It does kind of remind me of my feelings when somebody says, I hated this video when I post it. And I think, no one forced you to watch it. Sorry it didn't meet your standards, but it's a free will offering, YouTube. This game is a free will offering. If you don't agree with a champion, you don't have to throw units to open them. If you don't agree with an event, you don't have to play it. But I do think, in terms of tameness, a lot of these statements from Kabam have been pretty tame. So, again, Grounded Wisdom. Can't believe I'm saying this again. A lot of backers today. Very fascinating. Dr. Zola backs Mike. All right, we're going to close this down. Thank you everybody that shared their point of view on the addition of Hulking and Wiccan and a Pride event. Special thanks to those who shared their opinions on the event and Pride from the inside. Pride from the inside. This just has too much potential to blow up further, and I don't want it to happen here. Well, I actually do think that's wise. So, Grounded Wisdom, the voice of reason. More supporters of Mr. Grounded Wisdom today? I try to be objective. It seems like that happened today. Wow. What a day. We're almost at 10 minutes, and I don't want to get to those pesky triple ads, so let's end it here. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Brian Shadowstrike for sending this on so that I was aware of the post.